Hey everyone, this is my 4-month update using Zepbound. My name is Grace. Over the last 4 months, I have lost 17.2 pounds, and to be honest, I'm getting a little impatient. Welcome back, everyone. If you are new here, I have been sharing my weight loss journey using a GLP-1, specifically Zepbound, over the last 16 weeks. So, over the last 4 months, I have lost 17.4 pounds. I started at 265.4, and this morning I actually weighed in at 248 exactly. That means that over the last 16 weeks, on average, every week I've lost 1.09 pounds. I have used Zepbound for the 2.5 dose for the first 8 weeks of my journey. I started back February 25th. And then the following 8 weeks, I have been on 5 milligrams of Zepbound. I am considered an average loser, and although I would like to lose faster, the truth is that the medication is working. So why am I not rushing, even though I am very impatient right now? I know that that is an internal battle that I am struggling with. I know that comparison is the thief of joy. Somebody on YouTube today actually shared that they started one day before me, they weighed only 5 pounds more, and in the same amount of time, they've actually managed to lose 50 pounds. And every single weight loss is merits celebration, but somehow in my head, I'm just not doing enough. And 17.4 pounds is just not good enough. And I know that that's a struggle that I have to deal with and I have to learn how to cope with because I am still losing and I am not gaining weight, and that's what I really need to celebrate and focus on. Now, I know that there's an upside to not rushing titration, and that's why I decided to stay on doses so long. Today is actually week 17. I'm starting week 17 of using 5 milligrams of Zepbound. I just opened my third 5 milligram box. And I had a conversation with my provider yesterday because she asked me, Grace, I am loving, that you are staying on doses longer. That gives us more room so that, you don't run out of doses too quickly. But do you want to move up? And that is something that I need to figure out because technically speaking, the medication is actually working. I am losing weight. And if you're losing weight, then there's no need for you to move up. But in my head, I just want to lose faster. If you have had a similar journey like I have, and you are, an average loser, and you're not having these, you know, insane weight loss amounts, please know that I'm with you. I am struggling too, and I just need to figure out how to celebrate where I am right now without comparing myself to other GLP-1 users. I don't want a bunch of muscle loss. And my provider yesterday told me the 2 reasons why I love that you're taking your time is because we are not losing a bunch of muscle and we are not going to have a bunch of sagging skin. And that's a positive that I should keep in mind when I get frustrated with only having lost 17.4 pounds over 4 months is remember there are a lot of benefits to this as well. Users lose 15% of their body weight at the highest dose of Tirzepatide. That is 15 milligrams. Could I have rushed and gotten there much quicker? At this point, I would have technically been starting my 12.5 milligram dose. But then I tap out and then I have nowhere to go if, my weight loss slows down or if I stall. So I'm trying to be strategic about this, and I'm trying to hold myself accountable and responsible that I'm also choosing, for myself to take it slowly. I'm just struggling, and that I need to, just appreciate what I've lost and, know that that's enough. Some side effects that I've experienced over the last 4 months, I would say my side effects have been pretty consistent. They have continued over the last 4 months. I've had constipation. I've had a lot of bloating. That's probably my worst one. I've had occasional diarrhea, but not too often. I am struggling with insomnia. I am beginning the era of vivid dreams, which I absolutely hate because they are terrifying, and I wake up, like in sweats, just freaking out. I have had some minor site reactions, specifically rashes. And lately, I'm also getting food aversions. Although I want to talk about my constipation. I was actually diagnosed with chronic constipation a couple of years ago, and I was prescribed Linzess. If any of you guys take Linzess while on Zepbound as well, let me know how your journey is going. If you don't know what that is, it's a medication to manage chronic constipation and to actually manage IBS as well. Some of the experiences I've seen on YouTube of GLP-1 users is that a lot of them say that Tirzepatide or semaglutide actually resolve their IBS. Now, I have not gotten off my Linzess, and I am on the starting dose of it because I hear the stories about how horrible constipation can be using a GLP-1 because obviously the medication slows your gastric emptying. But, you know, even with using my prescription medication to manage my chronic constipation, there are still some days where I don't have a bowel movement. For my insomnia, I was actually also, you know, diagnosed with insomnia, if you will, a couple years ago. This actually started after I had my son. I just could not sleep. It was horrible. And my doctor prescribed me trazodone. If you are a user of trazodone and GLP-1 medication, I would love to hear your experience, how you are using those together. At the beginning of the 4 months when I started Zepbound, I realized that I didn't need the trazodone as much because one of the side effects of GLP-1 is fatigue. So I was tired all the time and it was really easy to fall asleep. However, now that the medication is building up in my system and I am on the second dose and I am going on week 17, now I'm almost getting the reverse effect and I am having a really difficult time falling asleep. So I had actually stopped using my trazodone. But lately, over the last couple of weeks, I've started to, reintroduce some small doses in with the guidance of my healthcare provider. I am not a doctor. All these decisions that I make, it's always backed by my healthcare provider. And now I'm having a horrible time with the trazodone because I wake up feeling just like I haven't slept in 2 weeks. It's even worse. So I don't know how I'm going to continue with that specific side effect, but I would say that insomnia and constipation have probably been the two worst side effects I've experienced over the last 4 months. Now, there are some things that I feel that I did do right, and probably the reason why I lost 17.4 pounds over the last 16 weeks. I would say that I did improve my exercise. Even if it's just around my neighborhood, I have been consistent in walking at least 3 times a week. And, that came from not doing any movement at all over the last couple of years. My portion sizes have gotten smaller, so that's a huge win. When I traveled, I hit the gym every time, and that's something I never did. So that's a huge non-skill victory. I showed restraint with cravings. There are times, I know that one of the positive benefits of GLP-1 medications is that our food chatter goes down. But there are still times, and I've talked about this before, where I don't know if it's a craving or if it's a hunger cue, but I want something, I will want some ice cream or I will want, I don't know, pancakes. And when those cravings hit, one of the things that I see as a non-skill victory or something I did right over the last 4 months is I won't give into that craving. I won't get in my car and go find that food item that I am wanting. And I never miss my injection. Those are the things that I did right over the last 4 months. Now, there are plenty of things that I did wrong. I skipped meals. There were some times, specifically in the beginning, where I was not hungry. Specifically, we know that the first 2 days are very potent with this medication in our system. And like a lot of you guys, I'm finding that I'm not hungry, so I won't eat. And then I know that that's not something we should do, but I did it. Something else I did wrong was I didn't eat enough whole foods. I was eating still a lot of processed things. And I fell short on my protein so many times. And I did use you guys' advice on supplementing, to meet those protein needs with protein bars and shakes. But there were times where I wasn't even wanting to drink those or eat those because I wasn't hungry. I definitely miss strength training. I want to say maybe month 3. There was a month there that I was like really consistent with, doing my workout videos, but now I basically just reverted back to my cardios and my walks. And there was a chat. I forgot if it was Twan or I think it was Dee Dee's Downsizing Diva. There was a chat, a live she was doing, and the conversation was how much more valuable strength training is than cardio, which I fully agree. And my provider actually told me you have to strength train, otherwise the muscle loss is going to come. So I would say that the worst thing that I did over the last 4 months was not celebrate my non-scale victories enough. I focused too much on the scale. I just did. I mean, to me, that is the measure of success. That is the measure that I did something right. That is the measure that the medication is working. That is the measure that, I didn't fail. And I know that that's wrong, but that's definitely what I did wrong. And one of the things that I want to do over the next 4 months of this journey is celebrate non-scale victories. Get away from the scale and celebrate everything other than that stupid number that drives me crazy. As I enter week 17 of my Zepbound journey, I want to definitely keep losing weight. I want to focus on strength training. I want to track consistently. That's actually something else I did wrong. I definitely want to get better at tracking. I know that weight loss comes when you're in a calorie deficit. And if my weight loss maybe didn't come on stronger or faster, was because I was not tracking and I was probably eating more calories than I should. And something else I want to do over the next couple of months as I continue my Zepbound journey is I actually want to try on smaller clothes. I haven't ventured. I am a size 20 in pants, or a 2XL, and then in shirts, obviously 2XL, like this one is a 2XL or extra, extra large. And my clothes definitely fit looser. They fit bigger. I am far more comfortable in my clothes. So I feel like when I walk into a store, the next size down should probably fit, but I'm terrified to put it on and that it won't, and that will be another failure or another letdown that I will have to process. So that's the only reason why I haven't run to Target to try size 18 or even size 16. But it's something I want to work up to over the next month. I definitely want to try at least the next size down and see how that feels. I feel that would give me a lot of motivation and inspire me to keep going, because the number on the scale is not everything. It is not the only measure of success. And that's what I'm telling myself. Now, in closing, I just want to tell you guys how grateful I am for all of you. I really look forward to coming on here and sharing my experience and telling you how everything's going. I know a lot of you are on similar paths and journeys as I am. I definitely have a lot of twins out there that started at the same exact date or even in the same week that I started. And it's been really inspiring to hear your stories. And, I definitely feel all the encouragement and motivation and support that you guys give me, the love that you pour. I don't take it for granted. I get so driven and excited by you guys when you tell me, Grace, you can do this. Grace, try this. Grace, do that. Grace, I'm so glad this works so well. This community is amazing. Like, the GLP-1 community is like no other. And I just want to let you guys know I appreciate you. Would you leave me a comment? Will you tell me how your journey is going on so far? Share one thing you did right in your journey so far. What's something maybe you're struggling with that you can relate to with me? I want to hear it, because like I said, it keeps me motivated. I'm not alone. And when I read your comments, I find, so many similarities in our weight loss, community. And I think that that's one of the things that keeps me motivated. There's plenty of times where I want to throw in the towel and just say, it's just not fast enough. It's not good enough. It's just not enough. So why do I keep going? But when I lean on this community, I find that encouragement and that support that keeps me going forward. So I just want to tell you guys that I really appreciate all of you. If you've made it this far, leave me a comment. Tell me how your journey is going so far. Like I said, I started week 17. I did my injection on my right arm, and my doctor actually cleared me to go back to my thighs. You remember week 10, I had a rash reaction, and she cleared me and said, let's go ahead and go back to your thighs and give that a try. And we had a conversation about moving up to 7.5 milligrams. I started my box 3 of 5 milligrams. And I told her, I just want to see how this next box goes. And then we can have that conversation. I actually have a check in with her in 3 weeks. And we'll have a conversation about whether it is time for me to titrate up. Thank you so much for watching. I love all of you guys. I hope you guys have a terrific weekend. Bye.